Hello and welcome to Business Relationships Manor Network and our Spotlight Speaker section today, where we introduce Sigrid de Kaste of Stickybeak Marketing. Sigrid's presentation is the power of networking, choosing the right approach and making it work for you. I've known Sigrid for nearly 3 years and been impressed how she's gone about her networking and contributing to online networking discussions with a focus on others, not herself. Her work is all about creating meaningful, lasting connections at a global scale. If you're someone who values community, trust, and the kind of collaboration that drives real transformation, I think you'll find what she offers is incredibly uplifting. Sigrid supports leaders like yourself to grow through global relationships and built on respect and purpose. So let's find out how to make networking work for you. Sigrid, I'm going to pass this over to you now, so I'm going to stop my share.
Thank you, Ross. Well, imagine you spend $14,000 on a promotion and you only make 5 small sales and you're left with $55,000 worth of stock. Would that crush you or would that crush you? Here is how that came about and how networking turned things totally around. When I bought my first business way back in 2002, I specifically bought it to dress it up and to sell it again. And of course, increasing sales and customer numbers was the goal. And from my background in marketing, I used advertising to achieve that in those days. In the jewelry industry, I bought a diamond jewelry shop on the Gold Coast. Catalog promotions were the advertising thing to do. So I spent $14,000 on a catalog promotion in the very first months being in that business. I made only about 5 small sales of items from the catalog, and I was left with $55,000 worth of stock from that catalog that didn't sell. I really was crushed at that time. Luckily, I discovered networking. Not something that I'd come across before I went into business, and not something that I'd ever come across in my marketing studies either. It was never mentioned, networking as a marketing strategy. So here is what happened that showed me the power of networking. I was invited to a Chamber of Commerce meeting, and every one of those members came to my shop. Every one of those members referred their friends and family to come to my shop. Why? Because they got to know me, they liked me. That's what they told me later on. And so one by one, they really felt comfortable and trusted me. They did like that I was me, that I talked about my products, my jewelry, without any push, without any pretense, just how it is, very direct. And that is really where this networking, know, like, and trust came in play. I got to know it there. So since that very first introduction to networking, I have grown every one of my businesses using networking as part of a marketing strategy. And I used networking that attracted specifically international clients in my marketing agency, Stickybeak Marketing, when I first started that. So today, I want to look at three types of networking, what they offer, where they maybe fall a bit short, and give you simple tips and leave you with some direction for networking in general. I've segmented networking into these 3 categories: social networking, closed business networking, and global online networking. So let me explain each one of those in a little bit of detail for you. Social networking is that often breakfast or lunch, morning tea type. It's very casual in that you are talking with each other as if you are just wanting to get to know each other. There's rarely a real business focus on those ones. It's comfortable, and without being biased, most of the time those are women networks. Women's Network Australia, for example, is one of those. You have a very comfortable atmosphere in the room, getting to know each other. Now, that's perfectly okay. My takeaway tip for such a networking, if that attracts you, is always know your intention. Even if it's casual, have a light, natural way of mentioning who you help and what you do without turning it into a sales pitch, and think conversational, not transactional in that particular scenario. Number two, the closed business networking one. Well, that's that BNI style group. Sometimes chambers of commerce can be a little bit like that. You really are looking at commitment, regular attendance, don't miss a meeting. They're very structured, very disciplined, and they do work when you are focusing on it in this way. You really need to be there consistently to put in what you want to get out with such type. I have attended and been a member of a business of a BNI group for about 6 or 8 years. And for me, it was very useful at the time. Now, the takeaway tip for such a meeting, if you want to take part and be a member of such a group, it really is about playing the long game. You got to build that trust over time. Your consistency is your credibility, and credibility is what brings the referral. So that phrase, know, like, trust, really does come into play, and it does work. And number three, online networking for global connections. Well, there are various online networking groups and meetings out there. There's a very popular one at the moment that I have come across on LinkedIn in particular. It's just 30 minutes. You are popped into about 3 or 4 breakout rooms right away when you come into that meeting. And you have to take the lead. You've got to be active and action taker in that. You've got to introduce yourself. You've got to do all the work yourself. There's no instructions, no directions for you. It can be really uplifting and refreshing, particularly if you join one of those early in the morning when they're on the US side. For us here in Australia, very early in the morning, it's kind of like you have a big buzz when you come out of something like that. But they really lead less to any real outcomes. You have a complete mixture of people. There is very little direction, and there's also very little understanding of the participants about connection, what that means to connect. So in comparison, just to mention the global business networking online meetings that I offer, they are structured to some extent. They are live on LinkedIn, so people on LinkedIn can see and understand who you are and what you do. You always make new connections because there's always new people coming into it, and you go beyond that short introduction through guided discussions. And as a member in particular, you also learn about networking, how to use LinkedIn and marketing, seeing that we do network on LinkedIn. So the takeaway tip for that type online networking opportunity is you really want to show up with clarity, know your expertise, who you want to work with, and the outcomes that you bring. In a global space, clarity cuts through the noise and creates instant recognition. And there's a really cool saying that absolutely applies. Visibility creates credibility, which leads to profitability. Absolutely does, being regularly visible. And here are 3 main things that you want to do in order to be successful in networking if you want to have a business outcome from your networking. Number 1 is have a plan. Whichever networking style you choose, go with a plan of what you want to achieve. When you go to a morning breakfast casual type one, do you want to make connections? Do you want to get business, or do you want to promote a particular product, something very specific? Go into such a meeting or any meeting with a plan. and make it clear in the room who you are, what you do in casual ways, but have that plan at the back of your mind. Number 2 is that you always have a introduction prepared at hand, especially for online, but for any other meeting as well. When you prepare an introduction for the meeting, you can give each time a specific purpose in that introduction. So you might want to talk about a new promotion that you might have. You might want to generally ask for a specific connection. So having that introduction piece, that whatever 30-second, 45-second, 60-second, do have a couple of versions ready and use the one most appropriate for the meeting at the time that you're going to. It's really valuable to have that at hand. And number 3 is follow up, follow up, follow up. The results for any networking are in the follow up, and that is often misunderstood by people who are not regular networkers or have not really educated themselves around networking. They find they're in the room, they said what they do, they expect everybody to come and want to work with them or have their offer, and they don't follow up. So the more you get to know people through follow-ups, the easier it is for you to offer them something before you ask for something. That's a really good way that you can understand through follow-up who people are and what they are looking for. So in conclusion, I want to leave you with this thought. Networking is about action. It's about actively building trust, actively being visible, actively creating meaningful relationships. You can certainly mix and match your networking types to find the one that you feel most aligned with. You can do some of this type this week and some of another type another week. However, I'd always focus on a clear outcome that you want to achieve with your networking. Thank you.
All calm and collected, Sigrid.
Well,
I like it.
Well done. I love some of the things there. Having the plan, so often I go to a network meeting and I don't plan on, who might be there, who I really want to talk to, but I do make a point of thinking about I only need to talk to 1 or 2 people. I don't need to talk to everybody on that meeting and focus on them. So the plan, I like to prepare your introduction. I was at the event today, and somebody said, "Oh, but I change it for everybody that I talk to," but they weren't talking about their 30-second type thing. And the follow up.
Absolutely follow up. So the introduction, for example, I do have 2 today. I could have chosen one or the other. I didn't go into it seeing I'm the speaker today, but you can do that, and you'll feel much more comfortable than being put on the spot in a way.
I think it depends on who you're talking to what you introduce yourself as, isn't it? If you have a couple of businesses or you have a couple of, different programs or products within a business, it depends on who you're talking to. But can I just say that that has to be the most excellent explanation of networking I've ever heard.
Thank you.
It was so simple and clear and how to.
Yeah.
I've had some nightmarish networking experiences, and a lot of people get more into the fluff and the guff of it, but that was very on point and so correct. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that feedback. So I'll close this section off right now. So Sigrid, thank you so much for taking the time to prepare today and give us that presentation. And I think Susan has said what we all think. I think that was an excellent presentation. If you've got any questions, please contact Sigrid directly. You're welcome to do so. She'll be answering those questions.